Welcome to Changing Lanes with Hartz King. I'm your girl Hakima,
I'm Jerri.
and welcome and thank you for uh, tuning in today and tuning in last week. Today is our third show.
Third show.
Yeah,
Yep.
how you feel about it?
I feel great. I
So
feel really
far,
good.
so
We start
good.
this every time, so here we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got to give a high five.
Yes.
And for the last, I think 3 weeks, I think we've been doing pretty good. We've had some special,
Successes. Very
yes,
successful.
yes, and
Very
and
successful.
great feedback from our friends and viewers of the show, and I appreciate all of it. I don't care if it's harsh critiques or good critiques. I mean,
We want it. We want your feedback. We want to know what you want to hear. We want to know if we need to speak louder. We want to know if we need to open our eyes. Whatever you have to say. We are here to learn. We want to be successful. And in being successful, it's because we're going to help you be successful. So you help us, help you succeed, and we'll all be successful.
and it'll be helping
together.
us at the same time.
Exactly.
So
Very
yeah.
good. So big weekend. This weekend was
Yes. How was your weekend?
my weekend was great. It was little busy. It was Easter, Passover, just a nice holiday weekend. So and lots of family, lots of eating,
I know you
lots
have
of
a
food.
big Italian family. Any traditions? What kind of traditions you guys do for Easter?
So this year is different. But normally, so the oldest grandchild of my parents, who my parents are still living, they're both going to be 85 this year.
Wow.
Yeah,
85.
so 85. And my mom is a big keeper of a tradition. So normally we have the Easter egg hunt with all the grandkids. So the oldest grandkid now is grandchild, I shouldn't say grandkid, is 35. The youngest is 11. So, and we have everybody in between. And so the front yard goes, she's got beautiful azaleas blooming, and normally they let the grass grow a little high so they could just kind of toss the eggs in the yard.
Yeah.
And so the littlest ones would go first, grab, and then there'd be a golden egg and a silver egg. Well, this year, the youngest grandchild was not going to be there, and then my oldest sister and her husband were out of town as well. So my mom was a little
Irritated.
a little is not the word anyway. So she gets really OCD about her dinners, her everything. Like she wants it perfect, and I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful. But she says she does it, but I really do it. And she
Tradition.
points and she goes, "Why are you doing it that way?" And I have to go because
She's 85. Give her her moment.
she
You know?
deserves every single moment, and that's what I have to keep breathing and saying. So, what about you?
Right. So, great weekend.
Mhm.
You know, I went into the weekend with my normal, well, my mom mode, like, and mom mode, like mama bear mode. So,
You were Mama Bear mode.
I was in mama bear mode. So this weekend I kind of like just just breathe and relax and try not to do too much.
Mhm.
But then corporate housing called and me and Jerry had a little issue we had to fix going into the weekend. So we wanted to take care of that. We had somebody allergic to our
yes,
couch.
I totally forgot.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
okay,
handled
this is
that one.
how fast, really, that situations happen, and
Right.
you can't dwell. You cannot dwell and
Right.
say, "Oh my gosh, this happened," and because I really forgot about.
Look
this
at that.
whole-
See?
Yes.
Yeah. So I try to get over those stresses so I can have a good weekend.
That's right.
And I did have a wonderful weekend, but yeah, we had a little couch situation. It wasn't really a couch situation, but we had new tenants that come in, and we try to make sure we're accommodated every way we can.
Yeah.
And somebody ended up being allergic to our couch, so I called Jerry like, "Hey, we need a new couch." They I think they reached out like at 10 a.m. in the morning. And I say by the end of close of business day, I would make sure that we rectify the situation or found a solution. And I called you and I was like, Jerry, what are you doing? Because I'm at work. I'm tied to a desk 9 to 5. And
you didn't even say, "What are you doing?" She said, "Jerry," she texted, "We need a couch."
Right. And Jerry's like, "What's wrong with our couch?" I'm like, "Well, it has down feathers." She's like, "We do not." I said, "Jerry, we do." She's like, "Oh, okay." But you did a good job, though. I mean, you sent me a picture of a couch, and I'm like, "Oh, that's amazing." But what was the best part of that picture is that couch was $269.
$269.
And I told you I didn't care if you got it off the curb.
And I didn't get it off the curb. I actually got it out of a showroom. So,
but you in the world of corporate housing and having in a business, like, things change. So we were able to tackle that easy. That was like a 2 on my list of like on my
Of
level of 10 stress. Yes.
Exactly.
But guys, if you're tuning in right now and listening to us live, we have a studio line that you could call in. It is 702-992-3207 if you have any questions, or if you want to leave us a comment in our chat box. We have somebody monitoring our chat. Also, we're on YouTube under Changing Lanes with Hartz King, and also Facebook Changing Lanes with Hartz King. So also
WVBV TV.
WVBV TV. Yes, you will find us live on that channel as well. So guys, make sure that we're interactive, and we'll get to your messages and your questions as soon as possible. But to get back to my weekend, I had an amazing weekend. We do Easter traditions as well, but like, I mean, my kids are grown. Like, my youngest is 21 now. Now I am a grandmother, and my grandchild is 2. That's Kyle.
Did he get any?
Oh my gosh, I made him the biggest basket. Matter of fact, his stuff couldn't even fit in a basket. I got him a Superman bag, and my mom, because my mom likes to compete with the great grandma and the grandma
Likes
like
to be
compete.
great.
Yeah, we want to
Yes.
be great.
Mhm.
So she made sure he had a basket with all the little cute stuff and all the candies. And
Oh, well, he's cute. He deserves
yeah,
it.
and he gets overly spoiled. So, me as a mom, I always try to cancel like stuff like cancel Christmas or canceling the Easter egg hunt, just because it's just easier not to do it.
You're just tired.
I'm just tired, right? Like, can we
Yeah.
do something different? But traditions are important to keep, especially in the family. I know my daughters
Yes.
appreciated that growing up.
Well, the Easter Bunny totally forgot to come to
He forgot to come.
the college age child in my house.
Well, that's okay, because
So-
he didn't visit my college age kids either.
Okay, good. So anyway, so the Easter Bunny brought him
What did you get him?
a gift certificate to Bass Pro Shop,
Oh,
so he can
good.
get a spinner.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Isaac didn't want an Easter basket,
Oh,
but he probably would have enjoyed one. Did
listen,
you?
we didn't have the Easter egg hunt. I didn't finish, and because
No?
my mom is 85. I think she'll be 85 in August, and she has some lung issues, and this pollen is kicking her butt.
That's kicking everybody's butt right now.
So we did a little something different where we played which in the little kids weren't there, so we were able to play like almost ping pong cord toss. So you ended up with the number in a little tin can or whatever, and then you picked up the cup on the side table. So mom didn't have to go outside. We still had a game. She put a golden egg under one of the cups. He got the golden egg. It all worked out great.
Oh, good.
So it was good. It was
Right.
good. So,
But I think it's important to keep up those traditions, because then when
It is.
Isaac get of age, and then my girls, they're of age, but when they start, well, my oldest one has a child, but they'll start passing on these traditions. But I don't think my daughter got Kyle an Easter basket. It was just me and my mom. So, she got to start taking on these traditions herself.
So that's funny, because we were the big thing that we were going to talk about today was our age group being
Yes.
where we are with older parents and younger
Kids.
kids.
Younger, yeah.
We still have to care for our children. They're not exactly, especially Ayana, but Zaire,
21, yeah.
and Zaire is
25.
But if she didn't get the basket, she
definitely knows I'm gonna get it. Like, I'm definitely not.
that's what I'm
and
saying.
I told her
So
I got him.
she's leaning on you to be that. Listen, our YouTube channel is approved for children.
Yes.
So when the Easter Bunny comes, you know what we're saying. All right.
Right.
You know who does this.
Right. Right.
So, but we don't want to give away any secrets unless you want us to. So anyway, but between the college age kid, even the new mom, the older parents, and you trying to make sure everybody's covered and okay,
Right.
and I mean, it's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're just talking about Easter. We're not, or like a holiday dinner. We're not even
Or
talking about like everyday
yeah.
life and
Right.
making sure people are on their feet and
Yeah,
living their best life at
yeah.
whatever stage they're in.
Because you have a lot on your plate right now too. So we're gonna get into that.
Yes,
We're gonna
we'll
talk
get
about
into it. We'll get
But
into it.
I'm gonna talk about your little win. I know today we were talking when you came in here. You were modeling for me.
I had a big win. I had a very big win. I
So,
did.
What was it? Let's tell everybody and I'm not downplaying this. This is major.
Listen, so between caring for all these people, you have to care for yourself too.
Important.
Yes. So I last year went and got some blood work done and all this stuff done, and I have insulin resistance, not quite diabetes, thank God, but So I really, really tried to change the way I eat and a lot less sugar, a lot less carbs. And I put my pants on today, whoop, whoop, and they fit from last year. Not only did they fit, but I did not have to do squats to stretch them out, and they're a little loose.
Yes, they are. Good job. Good job. It's all about the small wins, the small victories. You know what I put on this today, and it fit from last year? My earrings. Are they cute? I mean, listen, we all, between my cookies and my Pepsi, because I was stressing this week, like, okay, I'm a little bloated, and I'm okay with that.
I think you look great, but
You
your
always say that.
earrings are beautiful.
Right, so.
Hey, those are the earrings your mom got for you.
Remember that? Remember that? See? Look at small wins. I wore them today, and they fit. And that's why I wear blazers. Blazers help me cover up a lot.
And you look good. You look smart.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That's the look I was going for today.
As if she looked differently without blazers, making her look smart.
You know, I always wear a blazer. If you're going to catch me with a blazer. Yeah.
She looks more of a badass when she's got her blazer on.
Right.
Like, don't mess with you.
I feel like a badass. Like, hey, you don't know what you're going to get today. And I got my tennis shoes on with my blazer, so, you know.
I know. Well,
I feel cute.
Oh, they're cute.
That's all I got.
Cute tennis shoes. Oh, see.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got to go shopping. Right.
So, anyway, so about our blazer and our little moments, our little wins, you know,
I think I'm excited.
Yeah.
I do need to incorporate some yoga, or incorporate some stretch, and incorporate better wellness. But hey, one thing at a time, and I'm excited.
Right. And not to say like all year you call me and like, Hakima, you shouldn't eat that, or you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't put your stuff, like we were talking about microwavable containers.
Yes.
And I want to know what's wrong with my microwavable containers that I put food in, and everybody's switching to glass now. Zaire's on that kick too.
Yes,
everybody
wants
you know, me to be healthy if I could be around for a long time. But
so there's a book that I listened to that a really good friend of mine recommended. It's called Good Energy by Dr. Casey Beans. She was an ENT doctor, and she'll tell you all about herself. So I'm not talking bad about anything, but so she did a lot of inflammation surgeries. So every time she did a sinus scraping, the person would be back like 2 years later, another sinus surgery, laryngitis, whatever, inflammation was what she was dealing with, chronic inflammation. So the whole book, I really listen to it as often as I can in the car, like touching receipts, the plastic containers, all these little things that you don't realize that you're doing that are bad for us. They're harmful. Even regular AC and heat, our controlled environment. We're one of the first generations to have a controlled environment. So everybody doing the saunas and the cold dips, you know, ice baths and things like that.
Yeah.
Our human cells are used to shaking it up. So if we don't do that, we get the inflammation stuck in us. And the little plastic containers have all those little tiny micro plastics in them that causes cancer. This is why everybody's freaking out on you.
Okay.
So,
right.
You know, like so these are things that I do in the car just to listen and keep myself
right. And I do appreciate it. I'm always going to be pushing back, you know, like had these microwave containers for years. I do notice like purge. Now, like all these are purge. It's spring, it's time for me to purge, but just a high level of mucus now, and then I have allergies now that I never had before, you know. Right. But I thought it was me getting into my 40s. You know, your
body changes.
Yeah,
and I guess we could talk about that too when we get back, because we do have to take a break.
Oh yeah, we do. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. You'll find us again on YouTube, Changing Lanes with Hartz King, Facebook, Changing Lanes with Hartz King. We're going to take a break here, and we'll be back shortly. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Injured in a car wreck in Virginia? Worried about insurance companies taking advantage of you? Attorney Nathan Bordegaray, founder of Bordegaray Injury Law in Chesapeake, is a former insurance defense attorney who knows the insurance company's playbook. With over 12 years of experience and over 100 combined jury trials, bench trials, and arbitrations, Nathan has recovered millions of dollars for his clients. Regardless of where you live in Virginia, Bordegaray Injury Law is ready to help. Call 757-505-HURT. That's 757-505-4878, or visit nbinjury.com today to schedule your free consultation. Allow Bordegarai injury law to tilt the scales of justice in your favor.
Have you ever wanted to dress like a Hall of Fame broadcaster, but didn't know where to begin? In 2018, Aaron Phillips was inducted in the Las Vegas Entertainers Hall of Fame, and The Voice was born. Aaron has been part of many successful podcast programs, and branding those programs plays a vital role. Visit thevoice.qbstores.com and order the latest embroidered products featuring the logos of many of Aaron's shows. Discounts and flat shipping rates are available on all orders, regardless of quantity, on men's, women's, and kids' apparel, and many accessories. Visit thevoice.qbstores.com and let Aaron's voice speak to you.
Hello, welcome back to Changing Lanes with Hartz King. I'm Jerri.
And I'm Hakima.
So we were just talking about little things that you can do to just make yourself more healthy.
Right. You were telling me about those plastic containers versus, so what is it? Why is it now we're moving away from plastic? And why do people, what's the difference with glass?
So most of the time, we all should probably start cooking our own food. I know your daughter does this. And
She does.
Yes. So,
I am.
That's okay. That's
I've
right.
been doing better though. I've actually cooked twice this week or last week actually. It wasn't bad. I did a salad.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying baby steps.
That's all we can do is baby steps.
Yeah,
so that's the whole thing. So
pasta.
the plastics is the easiest, one of the easiest things
That's
that
where
you can
I put everything in when I was
Well,
done. So.
it's the Tupperware contain. Everybody has them. The plastic. I say Tupperware, but Rubbermaid, whatever. So you stick your food in there, and then the easiest thing to do is toss that in the microwave. Well, the microwave heats the plastic, and then releases a lot of the PBAs that come into you, causes cancer causing. So the easiest thing to do, throw them away or give them, leave them for leftovers when people come and you don't like the person you're giving the leftovers to.
Let me see. You're like let me give you the plastic container.
Yeah, I'll give you this plastic container. No,
Yeah.
but seriously, just purge, just throw it away. Just get yourself some. I mean, they sell those Pyrex containers. They're so easy to store. They're online. There's probably bamboo that you can get. I'm not sure. That's something we can look up and put as a little toolbox.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of information out there on these subjects. I know Zaire comes to me a lot. That's my daughter with a lot of healthy tips. I know I sent one to her the other day, and she's like, "Mom, I already told you that." So here I am thinking I'm like
smart.
Yeah, and I'm one-upping her. Like, hey, that milk you drink is not good, right? The 2%, 1%, all the animal milk, and then the almond milks and stuff. She's like, "Yeah, Mom, that's why I tell you coconut milk." And I'm thinking like, okay.
Which is funny because talking about the coconut milk, that it has MCT oil in it, which we all need. It actually helps.
See, I'm not going to be able to eat anything.
You're really not. I mean, you got to shop on the outside of the grocery store. Everything needs to be whole food. Like, come on. I mean, I'm banging the table. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm trying really hard to not be, what's that word? Expressive.
Yes.
So I can't help myself.
I think this is your topic, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm really trying. I'm really trying to get healthier. We talked about this in the car ride over. I'm in my late 50s and people around me are dropping like flies, and my joints are hurting, just different things. So I'm kind of researching and reading and listening, and I want to be around. My son is 18 and I want a grandbaby. I really want to be here for even Dow's grandchildren. They're adorable, and I want to make sure I'm here. So we're going to talk about that too. There's just so much that goes. We were just talking about this a second ago. It goes through my head, and then I'm like, and I'm like, I can't even get it out of my mouth. So
much,
there's
I'm in my 40s. I actually was looking forward to menopause. I'm like, am I going through it now, doctor? And I'm like, menopause is not even the one thing I need to be worrying about. Is my mom, who's in retirement age, 63 years old, and then my kids that are college age and 21 and 25 and those most important parts of their life where they're going to experience different things. They're going to be looking for me to guide them. Right. And
that's right.
Learning from my mistakes. And
so Hakima and her daughter are going through something right now that we're going to discuss after it's settled, because we want to make sure it's settled.
That was Mama Bear and me all week. And when when things come after your kids, you know that you got to step up and you don't want them to worry. You don't want them to stress about it. My kid's in college. So the last thing I want her to do her last year is worry. And my biggest goal and my biggest accomplishments is seeing my girls go through college and get out of college, as far as myself too, without any debt.
Right.
Like not paying anybody for college education.
This day and age, that's a miracle.
It is.
It
is.
So, and even
I've been blessed so far.
Right. So, but even if you come out with a little bit, we were, anyway, I'm trying to say all this without giving away what you're going through, because it's major, and it's of legal importance. So that's why we're dancing around a little bit.
But we'll discuss it.
Yeah, we'll discuss it. But the main thing we're really trying to focus on is the fact that you're trying your best to let your child graduate college, focusing on her school and her craft and her
future,
her future, and not having to be debt free. She's looking at you. I mean, having her with debt. Yeah, and I'm the same thing with Isaac. Like, you just want to let them soar through life. So that said, I've heard somebody on a different podcast talk about these kids in their 20s and how a lot of people are giving them a hard time,
right?
Because they're flailing and they're not doing what they should and they're not motivated. And she was like, why don't you look at it from their perspective?
Right.
This world is chaotic. They are giving so much information. They're on YouTube, they're on Instagram, they're seeing what's happening, in the Middle East. They're seeing what's happening in the United States right now with all the angst. I'm not getting into politics. I don't care what side you're on. There's a lot of angst out there. So they're looking at home ownership and how it's really hard to get. My job as a parent, rent going up like crazy. Right. So they're in this place where there's no job unless you work for the city that has a pension program.
Oh yeah.
So they're thinking about all this stuff and we're not giving them credit. So they're kind of laying there with their deer in the headlight face.
Right. And I feel like as parents, it's our job to kind of guide them through that.
Absolutely.
I know I'm a big advocate. Mm-hmm. I know growing up, my parents, and I'm in my 40s, mm-hmm. Is hey, go get you a good job. And I was telling you that, you could be the milkman, the mailman, or those were good jobs.
That's
firefighter,
right.
Those were reputable jobs when we were growing up. But it's if I went and got a 4-year degree directly, and I went to college after high school. I just didn't last in college after high school, but I've been going to college for the last 20 years.
You went to the college of hard knocks.
I did. It's funny because I actually dropped out and went and got a real estate license, thinking I didn't want to tell my mom I dropped out of college. But then I was 18 years old with a real estate license, didn't know what to do with myself. Mm-hmm. But anyway, back to college. But if I would have graduated college with a 4-year degree that I had to pay for, I would still be paying for that. I would still, the job that I got, the career that I got after college or after high school, I would have still been paying for a degree, my degree, and I would have probably been struggling.
Well, so I went to Old Dominion University, which is in our backyard,
right,
in Norfolk. But I'm one of 5 kids. My dad worked 2 jobs. He was GS-15, which is civil service, pretty much admiral status if you did the Navy, so you can understand where he was. Me being naive and not as respectful as I should be to my dad, and as a young person, didn't realize that he was pretty awesome, right?
Right. Put food on the table and taking care of 5 kids, was it?
5 kids, and my mom she did little jobs, but she was a stay-at-home mom.
Which is the most important job.
It is.
I've been trying to apply for that job forever, and now I've aged out. My kids aged out of me being a stay-at-home mom, but that's okay.
That's it. You can still stay at home.
I'm trying to be a stay-at-home wife one of these days. That job is out there. I've been applying. You don't think it's a good job? I don't know.
Me personally, I'm not good at it. So
me neither. I don't cook. But anyway,
so let's go. We digress.
But anyway, we're trying to teach our kids.
Well, we were going back to my schooling. So I did pay for my own education. I had 1 school loan, but my senior year in college was $938 the last semester. Okay, so I could pay. I worked at what's that place in Norfolk? The Il Porto was there, the Brass Bar.
I have no idea. You know,
Yes, you do. It's still there. They've got it's by the port. You know, on the waterside. The building.
You worked at Waterside?
Yes, I worked
And
inside
Hooters?
Waterside pretty much, but it was Il Porto. It was Il Porto. I'm Italian,
okay.
and I didn't have to show anything that wasn't appropriate.
Right.
So,
But you had to pay for college.
I paid for college. I had to pay my rent.
See, I paid as I went. So yeah, like
Right.
I would take, 3 credit hours here, 3 credit hours there.
But there's no way these kids can do that right now.
No.
So there's just absolutely no way. And
Right.
like that's what I'm saying. So the stresses that they feel, we need to give them a break.
Right.
And be as helpful as we can. So we've got that where we're trying to help our kids, trying to build their confidence, try to tell them just go enjoy life. And then
Right. I'm big on that. A big component of whatever you want your degree to be in, just get a degree in that. But also I want you to do your research, because how much is this degree going to make you? But again, we know it could be any 4-year degree that you could get with a
84-year degree.
Yeah,
and then so the main
jobs.
thing that I think we all need to be teaching our children is look for something that as a side hustle, as your main focus, whatever, that's going to give you some passive income that you can suck away
right.
and put that in an account that you're not going to touch, and then you'll have a retirement fund.
Right. And then if you got a kid that is like, I just don't want to do college, I think a trade is also more important as well.
So in our backyard, we
yeah.
have several welding schools.
Yes.
We have just so many opportunities. Tidewater Community College has
sponsor, baby.
That's
Yeah, way to
right.
get them in. Thank you for getting them in.
You're
Nice
welcome.
guy.
You're welcome. That's right. They've got this diesel program for big engines. I mean, there's just so many things. And honestly, any job that's of service, and don't forget, like a brain surgeon is a service.
Yes.
If you need surgery, it's a service. So when your child is looking for a career, make sure it's something that either they're going to tell AI how to work it, or AI can't take it.
Right.
So
right. You know what? I'm a big component of AI. You know what? You know me. I'm a big component. I would be like, AI, what job can what either career, what skill can I learn now that's going to benefit me 5 years from now, and that you won't take? I would put that in the IA, like a job that you cannot take from me.
Right.
And see what AI generates for you. I mean, AI generates a lot of good things. So, and I think
you were talking about it last night. She was writing her important letter, and she put in ChatGPT, and it gave her.
It kind of like I asked it a question. That's what I did. I asked it a question, and and because I use ChatGPT often, it kind of like knows me. I guess I got this personal relationship with my ChatGPT. I call him Sam. Did I tell you that? I was like, I gave it a name. So when it writes me something, it was like Sam, comma at the end. So it was like, hey, well, in Ayana's case, like, maybe you should look at this. I'm thinking like, I didn't even ask for that information, but I appreciated it because it was
what you were asking about. Yeah. But it came back with, in Ayana's case, right. Which you weren't asked. You didn't say that.
No, I asked another general question. So, but being that I utilize it.
So Sam, maybe you don't need a stay-at-home. You don't need to be a stay-at-home wife. You just need to talk to Sam all day long.
Listen, this job and this career woman and this independence is overrated. I mean, it is overrated. But being a businesswoman and being independent, I mean,
you like that.
It got me this far, but. I'm ready for a soft life. Even if I got to get myself there.
I think we might be changing over to a dating podcast.
No, Jerry, I didn't say that. I didn't say that for that. I just said with everything, like you said, the sandwich generation, and having everything on our plate.
Yes.
And then putting a 9 to 5 on top of that plate. That's
right.
a heavy plate.
It's a heavy plate.
Yeah. And then I'm looking at retirement, and I'm looking like, man, for me, retirement is 13 years away. And that's not reality for me. So I'm going to retire in 2 years.
How many years?
I'll tell you that.
Yes, but how many years are we apart? 12?
Are we 12 years apart?
Something like that. Anyway, so for me to retire is like, it's not happening. But that's why I like real estate. I like the life that it's given me in several ways. Like I bought a house. My very first house was I have used that as a tool throughout Isaac's life when he was little. We lived in it. Then I was going through my divorce. So when he was little, so I took a second line of credit on it. And I mean,
So that house has been feeding you.
that house has been feeding me.
So, and that's part of retirement, that residual income.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You gotta,
But it's this is what we need to teach our children is, and I don't care if it's a house, it's whatever it is that they want to do. They need to find the passive income
right,
stream
right,
that's going to help them in times of struggle.
and kind of like live your dream. If you got that passive income coming in, you could actually like be a little bit of financial freedom because you know, hey, I'm expecting this income every month.
That's right.
You know,
absolutely.
I have this investment.
That's what I like about you.
Yeah.
That's what I love about you. You like, I'm going to help me through my struggle, and you're going, why are we going to struggle? Let's look at something fun.
Listen, I don't want struggle is not where I'm going or where I'm headed. And and once I got myself out of struggle, I'm like, I'm not going there. I'm not going to direct my kids into struggle. And I'm make sure that my mom, who's been retired for 10 years, don't have to struggle. You know, so this is very important. And now, you know, like my daughter bought a house at 22 and now she's about to buy her second house with you. And I don't mama bear when she's buying a house from Jerri. I'm her friend and I'm an advisor, but you got to make that decision yourself. You got to like, I love how our partnership do turn when it's like, all right, I got you.
Let me stay in my lane.
I let you stay in your lane, and I have my daughter
lane.
create her own lane. As far as like, you got to make these decisions because I don't want you to regret the decision later, and then look at me to get you out of that situation. So, do your pros and cons, right? And we learn like, and she knows like, all right, what is this second house at 25 going to do for you? In the next couple years, right? What are you looking to get out of it? So, and that's important because she knows she wants financial freedom. And I wish I was where she is at 25.
I mean, that's the other part too.
Yeah.
That at 20 and 25, I was not coachable.
We weren't thinking, exactly. I wasn't either.
I thought that I could do it all. Right. And not only that, but I was dumb. I mean, like,
of course,
I didn't use my brain. Like, I looked at everything with rose-colored glasses, and like this. I told my neighbor this today because he came over to get me to witness his will because he's going on a quick little vacation.
We were talking about
and he didn't want his. He just wanted to cross his eyes and cross his T's and dot his I's before he got on a plane. So he did a quick will, and we were witnesses to it. Because he just bought the house. He bought the house next door, and he's just didn't want anything crazy happening. Right. So, I digress, but I'm trying to like tie all this in together, and then I forget what the heck I'm talking about. So, what was I talking about?
Listen, we're talking about like our kids as far as like them making a safety nest for themselves.
Yes. Oh, and like being 20, 25, and being coachable and listening, and I mean. It's like we're texting. It's Easter. She's with your family. Right. I'm with my family. And did you put a home inspection in there? Yep. Did you? What about da da da? I mean, it just
she's texting quick. You that stuff?
Yes, and she's just quick asking.
Tell me she was texting.
And I mean, like I know your mom was there. I don't know if you were there.
We weren't even paying attention.
That's what I'm saying. Like so, that's when she was on it. She asked the right questions. Right. She let me answer. She didn't go, Mom, what about? You know, like that was an honor for me because I know you know your stuff when it comes. I mean, I'm here to facilitate
but this is your lane. Like you're the licensed real estate agent, and she knows that. I'm always going to be a support system, right? And I'm never going to talk her unless it's a bad deal. And I know I trust you enough to know my kid's not getting a bad deal, but she has to make her own decision. Right. And I know like these decisions we make now are feeding us in the future. And I know this girl's looking for financial freedom, and she's already there. As far as like not paying her bills. Now this second house, I always tell her like, you're too young to think about a forever home, right? She is. Get a home, your next home. Like you got to start thinking about, all right, I'm gonna get this to pay for this, and I'm gonna get this to pay for this. But you're looking for your future as far as like the life you want to live, right? You know, does it going to work for you? Is it going to take care of what you needed to take care of now? and is it going to help you in the future with you
Right.
and
And
your
because
situation?
she's 25, she's got the energy, she's got support.
Oh, yeah.
She has the hustle,
and the mentality, like, you know, like I could tell her so much, but fear, like we always say, like, I didn't put the fear that fear in us, but if she was scared of financially scared of what was going to happen, or fear like it's going to be too much for me to worry about, like I always tell, like, don't worry about what, like, the stuff you cannot control.
That's right.
Just sometimes you just got to do it. And I know growing up, I wasn't taught to take risks. I don't even know where real estate came from, actually, but I wasn't taught to take risks. I was taught to get a job. And I don't want to just teach my kids how to just go to college and get you a nice, degree in this and then get you a job. Because I know, like, these jobs, you got to get 30 years. 30 years, and these jobs aren't making us rich. You got to get 30 years. And when you retire, like, I see a lot of people, especially in my profession, retiring 65 and going to put another uniform on or going to clock in for somebody else.
That's right.
And that's not what I want to see for myself. So I tell myself all the time, like, hey, 2 years is your retirement. You got to retire yourself in 2 years.
And push.
And
well,
hustle. And we've had Matt Schaefer.
Put all the stuff down. Stop listening to what the negative naysayers are saying.
Right. If they don't own 2 houses, then they can't tell you not to own 2 houses.
Well,
and I know with the market,
the market's, it's always crazy. Crazy. You know, like back to when I bought my first house, and you know, I have some friends that are going, my kid's never going to be able to own a house, and my kids are never going to be able to do this. And I'm like, everybody. I had help getting my first house. My grandmother gave each one of us a little sum of money, and that's how we did it. You know, there's grants out there. There's programs out there. If you don't have savings, go drive for Uber and save that money. Right. You know, go hustle.
I want to be like your grandma. I want to leave a
I
little something out there for
exactly
all
right. That's where we are.
We're working, my grandchildren.
We're working on legacy stuff right now. Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, I still have energy. I'm not going to retire. I don't see it happening, and I don't want to. But
so when I say retire, I'm talking about retire from working for somebody else.
I understand what you're saying.
I don't mind working for myself until the end of time, but working for somebody else and, you know, giving them 100 and coming home and having to give myself 110, because I'm never going to give somebody else more than I'm giving myself.
There you go.
And that takes a lot out of me, you know, and a lot out of anybody who's doing it. But the most important thing I want to do is make sure that I'm leaving something behind. And I want to also leave knowledge, because they always tell you go visit a graveyard. That's the richest place in the world is a graveyard, because a lot of people died with knowledge and they took it with them. So I want to make sure I give it out. I give it out to my kids, and I let them know, like, I want them all to be on the same playing field.
Right.
As far as not worrying about a job, you know, if you like taking that risk, create your own income because that's going to make you more comfortable. If I got to go into a job that AI might take my job tomorrow, or we see what's going on with layoffs, now I'm at the hands of somebody else. You're at
the hands of someone else.
Yeah,
That's right.
I'd rather be at the hands of Hakima, you know, and eat the fruit that I've produced.
Right.
So, and that's
right. So your seed.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Into my kids, into generations to come after them. But I definitely want my grandkids. They always say, you know what? I want my grandkids to know Hakima, because they're gonna know it because I left them something for them to know who I was.
Oh,
you know. So.
Well, she's a force.
Right.
We're
all you are too.
Yeah, but
I mean, you do this. I mean, you go out there. You don't have a 9-to-5 that you.
No.
Right. That's why you can go get a couch at 11 o'clock in the day. I love that about you, but you also, like, you're a realist. You think about, all right, you're a saver too.
Oh yeah.
Like you say, you have that nest egg. And I guess with my comfort, I don't keep a big savings in the bank. You know that.
Oh gosh, and we're coming back, and we're going to talk about that too.
Right.
So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. We're going to talk about like just different. We're going to talk anyway.
Right. So thanks for joining us. And you'll see us in a minute. Thank you.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Shrimp Feast.
Shrimp Feast who?
It's the 46th annual Shrimp Feast hosted by the Kiwanis Club of Chesapeake.
Bring your family and appetite on Thursday, May 15th from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. to the Chesapeake City Park.
Tickets are only $45, $55 at the gate.
Yeah, but discounts are available for children between 4 and 12, and kids under 3 are free.
Event sponsorships are also available.
To purchase tickets, call Aaron at 702-286-0063, or to become an event sponsor, contact Fred Woodall at 757-469-4945.
Kiwanis builds communities one child at a time.
Injured in a car wreck in Virginia? Worried about insurance companies taking advantage of you? Attorney Nathan Bordegaray, founder of Bordegaray Injury Law in Chesapeake, is a former insurance defense attorney who knows the insurance company's playbook. With over 12 years of experience and over 100 combined jury trials, bench trials, and arbitrations, Nathan has recovered millions of dollars for his clients. Regardless of where you live in Virginia, Bordegaray Injury Law is ready to help. Call 757-505-HURT. That's 757-505-4878, or visit nbinjury.com today to schedule your free consultation. Allow Bordegaray Injury Law to tilt the scales of justice in your favor.
Hi, welcome back to Changing Lanes with Hartz King.
And thanks for Larry. We see Larry out there in our chat room that's tuning in. So thank you. You guys can find us on YouTube, Changing Lanes with Hartz King.
Mm-hmm.
Also Facebook, Changing Lanes with Hartz King. Also WVBV TV. Catch us there as well live while we're on the air right now. Drop us a comment, guys, in our chat. This is a interactive podcast, and we definitely want to know what you think, and we want you to join in on the conversation. I know me and Jerry's been all over the place today. We are our own special guests today, but also if you want to talk about a subject here on Changing Lanes with Hartz King, and you changed a certain lane in life, we definitely want to invite you on. There's ways to get in touch with us. If you check out our YouTube or our Facebook page at Changing Lanes for Hartz King, you'll see our email address, also our YouTube channel where you can leave us a message and come join us on the show. Be a special guest.
That's right.
Yeah. Let us
Excellent.
know.
We would love to have you.
Yeah. So what were we talking about before we went on break?
Oh gosh,
I know we were all over the place.
We're actually talking about retiring, like and stopping working for someone else.
Right.
So that's our definition of retirement.
Retirement, yes.
Because and for me, I'm with my job, I will always be in service to someone else. You will too, especially with corporate housing. But with me selling real estate, that's just what I do. I'll be in service to whomever. But it's not a 9 to 5. It's not where you're going to get paid $20 an hour. And you're going to go home, and then the tax guy is going to take you down to $8 an hour, and you're like, what just happened?
What just happened? Right.
Yeah. So again, for us, that means we're not going to clock the clock much longer, punch the clock much longer. You're giving yourself 2 years?
I'm giving myself 2 years. I tell myself all the time, the end of 2027, I'm hanging it up. I'm retiring from a career, and it's going to be definitely eating the fruits of my own labor. Now, before we went on break, I said Matt Schaefer's name because Matt Schaefer came to me, or I came to Matt Schaefer, and I was talking about retiring like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, hey, listen, I'm going to put a number. You think about a number. And when you reach that number, and that is your number, you are good. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I came back to Matt like 3 months later because I've reached that number, that monthly number. Yeah. So I make more for myself than I do with a career.
But you have your health insurance.
Health insurance. Like, so I think jobs create like a false reality and sense of security because it's like, I do fear like, oh my God, this health insurance. And I know I have my college kid on my health insurance.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
I carry Zaire. She's like, take me off of your health insurance. I got my own health insurance. I'm like, okay, I'll take you off.
I like it.
But that's what we want. We want our kids to kind of like, and
take care of themselves.
And I had to now, I still, at the end of the day, I still got to worry about my own health insurance, her health insurance. That is also a way I pay taxes because I have a job. So taxes come out. So it helps me at the end of the year.
Right.
But then like, I feel like, what else am I going to do? Because like, I now have a business that I don't have to put too much time into. Maybe like I don't have to put a lot of time into it all.
So
I make a lot of money in my sleep.
Let's just talk about Hakima quickly.
Oh, talk about Hakima. Let me hear this.
So she tried arbitrage, which is a form of corporate housing or form of house hacking that what you do is you rent
from somebody else. I rent from a landlord.
She rented from another owner of a property and re-rented the property, rented out. So she traditionally rented from the landlord. So let's just use really easy numbers and say you paid $100 at the landlord to the landlord, which is not what happened. But so
let's use those numbers.
I know I like this. Let's go to the way back. So she paid $100 and then she furnished the house, decorated the house, curtains, coffee pot, utensils, bath mats, sheets, towels, bedroom, bed furniture, everything was in this house, down to the like a broom, a hair dryer, all of it. So
and I did it really reasonable at a really reasonable price of furnishing it. I try not to go all out of the way to furnish a place, but just say, all right, it cost me $300 to furnish it. $100 I'm paying to the landlord.
Okay.
And it cost me $300 to furnish it.
Yeah, but that's a one-time fee, so that didn't even, know what I mean?
No, right. It's just an investment.
Yeah, but you do pay all of the
electric
and the gas, water, all that good stuff. Right. So the cable, whatever. So anyway, then she went out, she resold it basically. So she was the middleman, and
I re-rented it.
And you did that with how many properties in one season?
I did that almost with 3 properties, but they were duplexes, and then one was a condo. But I kind of felt like I overate.
You may have overate, but my point with you saying you don't know what you're going to do in retirement is you totally fill your time.
I do.
You fill your time, and you.
I think there's so many ways to make money though. Like if I could think of it, I'm going to at least attempt it. And that was my thing with arbitraging was I can't rule it out until I try it. And I tried it and I realized it wasn't for me. I'd rather own the structure than to deal with a landlord, because I also have a quality and a standard. And I got to make sure that the landlord, whoever I'm renting from, have that same standard. Because like us, when I called you about the couch, by the close of business day, the same day that couch was replaced.
The couch was in the house. Yep.
Right. And when I call you about anything, by the close of business day, do we not handle a problem
as fast as we can?
So I also need that same quality and service.
Respect the service.
And the
that's
same
right.
and the landlord. And I'm not going to get that. Especially renting from somebody else.
So that's another thing that you're learning through all this is I'm a little bit of a control, I don't want to say control freak, because that goes back to your cost, quality, cleanliness, consistency.
Yeah.
For the 4 C's.
Quality, convenience, costs. I don't know.
But anyway.
But it is. But also to be a teacher, you got to be a great student. And I'm my own student.
You're very
I take a lot of L's, but there's a lot of lessons I learned with those L's, and just learning trusting in myself. I know that I'm gonna be okay.
But so she has an SUV that she has a hitch on. She has a trailer.
Right.
She loads that. I was gonna cuss on this podcast, but we're trying to keep it clean because it's okay for kids to watch this.
All my business out there. So my part of being
you're very self-sufficient. Self-sufficient, yes.
But you are too, Jerry.
I know, but I just like to notice it with other people.
Yes.
I just think it's incredible.
It is.
I also think that if you're going to be successful in any endeavor, you have to be a team player. However, if you can tell somebody how to do something, you better be able to pick your boots up and do it yourself as well.
Yeah, I am definitely a do-it-yourself girl. But I will call you in a heartbeat, like, Jerry, I need help. We gotta go to that. Remember that story where, guys, I am amazing when it comes to like cutting grass or like I got every tool, every power tool. I could use a lot of stuff. I do my own thing. YouTube University.
Again, she's younger.
Chat GPT.
And I have learned to let somebody else cut the lawn.
Right. But let me tell you something. An old-fashioned hammer and nails whooped my butt one day. Right? Whooped my butt one day. And
she took a picture of her 7 bent little nails.
I gotta show you guys. Like, I'm just trying to just hit a nail into the wall to hang something up.
She comes in and she's totally stressed. I think it's the first time I saw you sweat.
Right.
You're like, why does this keep happening?
So let me tell you something. Because Jerry has an amazing dad. And sometimes, like, Jerry dad is like, he is very particular about things. And it drives you crazy, right? Yes. So, and Jerry would come to me and she would always he's so particular. My dad did this today. And sometimes it frustrates her. But it's quality and his standards. He watches
everything that you do. He stands over your shoulder. And now he says he has emphysema. So he's standing over your shoulder and he's going,
yeah.
And I didn't want to do it in your face because my hair will blow in the wind when he's standing over my shoulder. So.
But just imagine me
Yeah.
trying to hit a hammer in a nail, and I was not taught this growing up.
No.
How to hit a hammer with a nail. Everything I'm learning from YouTube University, right?
So she comes in,
and
her
I'm
little
just,
nail.
it was a bunch of nails on the table. I almost went through a whole pack.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to put a
You're just trying to hang a picture.
right.
I mean,
and I
just
wasn't hitting the nail correct with the hammer.
She ran into
Was it a stud?
You ran into a stud. She ran into a stud. So I said, girl, just take that hammer and bang it. Hit that thing. Get mad at it. And she went, pop. And it went
right in. Right? and I hate being defeated. Like sometimes I just
she was like looked at that thing and was like, oh, it's because you
right. And you know, and that's exactly what I said. Because you were raised with a dad that showed you how to do this, and you complain about your dad that showed you how to do this stuff. And like
she's
little
right.
girls like me who have to figure it out. But then I mean I do amazing, but you know what?
You do amazing. And then you also give me reason to be very grateful for my background.
For your dad, yes. But
exactly.
I do a lot of things from trial and error and also not wanting to depend on anybody else. So yes, I do have a larger SUV that I pick up furniture with, and I do went and got me a trailer because I'd be damned if I'm calling anybody for assistance.
Yeah,
or waiting on
she
somebody
calls
else
me to go lift the couch and I'm like, okay, I am almost 60 and my bladder's going to fall out any minute. So can we just right? So can we get a guy?
You know what, Jerri, you do have a stranger danger van. Jerri has a kidnap van, so sometimes we call Isaac to.
That's Dowd's van, and we did spray paint the rust.
Did you? Yes. So stranger danger, so kidnappy,
and it's very fun to like see people that I recognize when I'm driving the van that does not have AC, so the windows, and it's crank windows, and it's a big van, so I can fit all kinds of furniture and everything in it. So it's great, but it is like, hey, little baby, do you want some candy?
You want some candy, right? But that is like me having to like not depend on somebody else, and time is important. So sometimes I don't have time.
It's easier just to hook up the trailer, go get it, and take care of it.
Hook that zero turn up to the back of that trailer and go cut my own grass too. So yeah. So yes, I am very self-sufficient. I know I'm gonna be okay. I know that I cannot depend on a job. I can't do 13 years. It's kind of like me right now, like thinking.
So what are you gonna give up? Let's just break that down.
When am I going to give up?
If you retire early, and so
I have a goal. So Jerri, I'm not like.
I know you're not giving anything up, but fear of like you said, like your health insurance, or is there?
I don't even have any fear right now because I think giving up. So I guess going to work. So when I go to work, I know I'm not spending money.
There's that.
You know, you're
sitting there. You actually do a lot of our design and paperwork things. But like I mean,
on Mondays is when I'm off.
Right.
And look at me right now on my Mondays. I do so much on my Mondays.
That's right. So
I do all that stuff.
So
that's when I get all our stuff done, all our paperwork and stuff.
But are you giving up pension? Are you giving up for?
So I still would get a partial of it, but I'm not like that's not what I'm worried about. Like I would literally, if I wasn't retiring early, I still would have to do about 26 years and only get 62% of
whatever
my highest
pay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So what you're doing is you did this like with Matt, like you wrote it down, like you wrote the number down because you know what the 62% would be. So you had to figure out how much you needed to make from the real estate.
Oh yeah.
Over there, and then now you're working towards it, and you're hurrying up.
So I'm already there. I'm already there. So I know, like I told you, like I need 3 more. And I want 3 more this year.
Right.
So we got to hustle.
We do have to hustle. We need an apartment complex. But anyway.
We do. We need
we'll get there.
Hotel building.
Well, that would be fun.
Right.
But
so I'm just visualizing it now. So I'm putting the everything in place. You you always got to visualize it, but you got to put the things in place to make it happen.
That's right.
So, and then I know now, like what I know now that I didn't know 2 years ago when I was managing so much and I bit off so much, and I'm realizing even though I bit off more than I could chew, I still had a career that I had to focus on that's very demanding. So I had to scale back.
That's why you wear your blazers.
That's why I went because I'm so important. No, but yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Just ready to move, and I'm just hoping.
But if you can't dream it, you can't reach it. Right. So you're very good about breaking it down, looking at things. You're always on Pinterest. You're always talking to your friends, like in St. Louis, that are doing things like maybe a little bit
Different,
different. Right. And that's actually a tip that someone taught me early in my career, was that if you want to be successful, you look around at the people who are doing what you want to do.
Oh yeah.
And you watch what they do and you start doing it. And then you can see yourself and you put yourself right where they are. Maybe you're not right there yet, but you put your mind there, and then you can achieve it. So I am a firm believer that anything is possible. It doesn't matter race, color, creed, male, female. We all have to stop listening to the naysayers.
Right.
You know.
Right. Especially the ones who are like, their vision don't align with our vision and our future and our goals for ourselves. Because I mean, if I wanted to, like, I could listen to somebody say, don't do it every day. I mean, every property that I've ever bought, and I probably had somebody tell me, no, that's not a good investment. Right. And I didn't
people
listen to none of that.
You didn't listen, but people that were important to you.
Yes.
You know,
yes,
one of your contractors was like, freaking your main house that you make the most money off of. And he was,
don't do it. Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But now he always say, like, you know what? You are very smart.
You have vision.
You may see something that I may not see. Now, he was saying no based on like what he thought the structure was going to be. A lot of work to get this house to where I wanted it, because my vision was always big with my beer budget, you know. So, but and that was a thing. He always say, like, that was a smart. I was like, you remember you told me don't buy this house? He's like, yeah, I know.
And it's a beautiful house and beautiful neighborhood.
Oh yeah,
people want to live there. So, well, okay, we have to wrap up. So, I think we've given a lot of nuggets, but give one nugget real quick, like the most important lesson that you think you've learned.
I think trust in myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes I still listen to that little scared girl, that voice inside of me that tell me, like, no, this might not be right. But then the mama bear, that person that I built myself to be, and just listen to God's voice as well, because I do pray a lot and read a lot. Mm-hmm. Trust myself, you know, and then hand it over to God, and he makes amazing things happen. So everything I've got, nothing is by luck at all whatsoever. Everything is by hard work, but
very hard.
Trusting in myself, knowing that the answer that I need is not going to come out of anybody else. It's going to come out of me.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you. What about you, Jerry? What would you tell our listeners?
Well, almost the same thing, except for I'm very spiritual, very believe in God. I was raised Catholic, but I'm a fallen Catholic for sure. But I also feel like it's a spiritual thing where you have to dig deep. You have to. Right. It comes like you're saying. It comes from you. Right. You definitely get like guidance. You get guidance from above. You get guidance from friends. You get guidance from books. You got to get your guidance. You got to believe. I'm just going to segue to what you're saying and stick with that, because I think we have to believe in ourselves. You guys need to believe in yourself, and let's do this.
Right. Also, create a vision board of you, like, and then if something doesn't align with the future that you see, like, sometimes we got to cut things off. It's spring. Clean things out. Get rid of, the people around you, are not, are not aligning with your future. So sometimes you got to be that person that or be the change that you want to see, as well as trusting yourself, believing in yourself, because it's in you.
Integrity. That's right. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here with us, and come back and see us changing lanes with Hartz King.
Bye. Have a good week.
Was great. All right,